Hello 2021. Oh, am I excited for you. New year and hopefully new updates for Animal Crossing New Horizons. This game spent the entirety of 2020 updating to celebrate holidays, add new, returning mechanics, and refresh the gameplay over time to keep us coming back to explore and discover new things to do. In the past, Animal Crossing events revolved around holidays, similar to how New Horizons big events happened this past year. None of the mainline games ever had constant and frequent updates. The developers changed this up a bit with the addition of the Welcome Amiibo free DLC that came to New Leaf. And Pocket Camp has had a crazy number of updates since release. Everything from new furniture items, new villagers, new activities, mechanics, and quality of life updates. Lately, Nintendo has been dedicated to providing consistent updates for most of their recent games, most notably Splatoon and Smash. Both games have a team of developers dedicated to pushing out new content and keeping us playing. We can use these as a guide to try to figure out what Nintendo is willing to do and how much new content they would want to push. Polygon got to interview Doug Bowser about Nintendo's plans for the new year. They specifically asked about developer support for New Horizons, and if they were expected to continue supporting the game during 2021. Bowser was asked if he sees the game following more of a New Leaf style of main game and then eventual DLC addition, or more of the Pocket Camp style with constant updates, additions, and enhanced gameplay features and events. Bowser responded saying that he could see the updates going either way, and that will continue as we go forward. He also pushed the fact that user-generated content keeps the game updated without needing developer support. But, we all want the developers to generate some content. They've got the good stuff. Polygon pushed him a little further and straight up asked if we would be seeing the types of updates that we saw in the first year continue through 2021. And Bowser said, "We definitely see that continuing." So that's a bit more promising. But what could these updates hold? I'm going to skip over talking about Pave and Festival. I dedicated a video to these topics already. This one is going to concentrate on what could potentially come starting late March. First off, Super Mario furniture. The new items were announced during the Super Mario 35th Anniversary Direct. We know it's coming in March of 2021, and that's it. We've got nothing else. Past Animal Crossing games have had Mario-themed furniture, but it was never pretty. It was usually super pixely, loud, and not very aesthetically pleasing. I'm excited to see a glow-up, especially since the rest of the furniture that's been in the series, like the holiday furniture, has drastically changed to meet the new demands of HD. Going back to months ago, there was a data mine that told us the existence of a museum shop and a museum cafe. The same data mine also revealed the addition of Red, the upgraded museum, diving, and bushes. And it's from the almighty Ninja, so it's safe to say that the reading of the code is probably accurate. With that being said, that doesn't mean that Nintendo will absolutely add these into the game. They could change their minds and we are without a shop or a cafe. Though I think the addition of the cafe and Brewster's return is so hyped up to this point that Nintendo has no other choice but to add him. Do you hear me, Nintendo? I know you guys pay attention to this stuff, so, please add him back. This feature is listed as the Museum Cafe in the code, which could mean that it would be an additional room in the museum, like how the cafe was in City Folk. New Leaf detached the cafe and made it its own building. Now that we're a year into New Horizons, I feel like a standalone building would probably ruin some people's islands. I've seen the crazy terraformed beauties that players have created. My heart would hurt knowing that they would have to flatten a part of their island to make room for a new building. Though according to the code, both the shop and the cafe look like they could be standalone, so just be mentally prepared if you need to make room on your island for the future updates. Let me carry around a coffee, hot chocolate, tea, please, Nintendo. The addition of Brewster would also, hopefully, mean the addition of gyroids, which we have also seen evidence of in the code. If these return, New Horizons would be complete. Gyroids are one of the main symbols of the Animal Crossing series, and they've been around since the beginning. I miss those guys. We have yet to see the additional crops that were found in the code as well. We've got pumpkins. Those were added for the Halloween event, which made sense. But what happened to the tomatoes, potatoes, carrots, wheat, and sugar? Again, the developers could have changed their minds, and maybe they just couldn't find a good fit for the other plants. But I'd be down to grow and harvest more food. One thing we're severely lacking when it comes to furniture is food items. We were blessed with a couple in the seasonal section of the Nook Shopping app for the new year, but otherwise, our villagers only live off fruit. Cooking could be a really cool mechanic to add to the game. We got a little taste of it during Turkey Day, but it could add a plethora of new crafting recipes and quests that our villagers could send us on. Maybe, instead of being sick in their house, they're in their house because they're so hangry that they can't function, and it's up to us to DoorDash them some food. Yeah, hangry villagers. That's what I want to see in 2021. We've also yet to see the high-class, upgraded Nook's Cranny that we've had in all of the past games. We've seen the initial upgrade, sure, But where's TNT Emporium? This place was huge. Maybe throw Gracie Grace up at the top again. Or even LaBelle's own store. Maybe she decides to expand to high-end furniture and we can get some furniture series back. Also, minigames. I want these back, please. Minigames in the cafe are like the two biggest mechanics that I want to see that haven't returned from New Leaf. I'm curious about the developers' reasons for not including online minigames. They were such a fun addition to New Leaf and gave us something to do and work towards when we got bored of town life. That's about it for the data mine information that we have yet to see. Some are things that haven't returned from past games, but other stuff is new and exciting. Now that most of the holidays have been celebrated, the developers are going to have to think outside of the box when adding new mechanics, so that makes predicting what's coming pretty difficult. With the seaplane to fly seemingly anywhere, there's so much potential for various island activities. Kind of along the idea of the Mayday Maze, they could be random islands that have various puzzles and rewards at the end. And maybe make them co-op? That would be nice. There are a bunch of Eastern holidays that we have yet to experience. Maybe some Nook shopping items or even a tiny Isabelle celebration would be cute. It doesn't even have to be anything big with dedicated NPCs like Turkey Day or Halloween, but something would be nice. Popular Western holidays like April Fool's Day that we didn't experience the first time around would be cool to see again as well. It would give the developers an excuse to bring back more special characters that we haven't seen, and it would give us more furniture. That is something that Pocket Camp gets a ton of. Furniture gets added to this game all the time, and we are 3 years past the release of the game. Maybe new events too. Pocket Camp has gardening and scavenger hunt events that the main series doesn't have. I'm not a huge fan of the crazy repetitiveness of those, but something along those lines would be cool to have in New Horizons. Crossover items. I don't even need Wolflink back, though he's freaking awesome. We got the Mario stuff coming, but that's it. More crossover, please. Splatoon, Fire Emblem, Zelda, anything. This could introduce more games to the people who only bought a Switch for Animal Crossing. Don't miss out on that market, Nintendo. I fully expect some kind of DLC happening in the future, paid or not. Nintendo's DLC have been crazy good across all their games, truly adding additional content and not more main mechanics of games like other companies love to do. The Welcome Amiibo update released 4 years after New Leaf came out, so the timeline for this is kind of up in the air. There is something that I feel like we're missing from New Horizons: the magic. Everything is so calculated. NPCs appear once a day now, and finding random buried items in the ground has disappeared. Maybe it's because I look into everything and know every piece of meta that exists in this game, but it's something that I felt the GameCube version did so well. Then again, I was a child. Everything felt like magic back then. What are you looking forward to in the new year? Anything you want to see the developers add? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!